Dear friends and students, you are listening to the book Glimpses of World History by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Chapter 14. The 6th Century Before Christ and Religion. January 20th, 1931. Let us march on the long road of history. We have reached a big milestone, 2,500 years ago. Or, to put it a little differently, about 600 years before Christ. Do not think this is an accurate date. I am merely giving you a rough period of time. About this time, we find a number of great men, great thinkers, founders of religions in different countries, from China and India to Persia and Greece. They did not live at exactly the same time, but they were near enough to each other in point of time to make this period of the 6th century before Christ a period of great interest. There must have been a wave of thought going through the world, a wave of discontent with existing conditions and of hope and aspiration for something better. For remember that the great founders of religions were always seeking something better and trying to change their people and improve them and lessen their misery. They were always revolutionaries who were not afraid of attacking existing evils. Where old tradition had gone wrong, or where it prevented future growth, they attacked it and removed it without fear. And, above all, they set an example of noble living, which for vast numbers of people, generation after generation, became an ideal and an inspiration. In India, in that 6th century before Christ, we had the Buddha and Mahavira. In China, Confucius and Lao-Tzu. In Persia, Zarathustra or Zoroaster. In the Greek island of Samos, Pythagoras. You may have heard these names before, though perhaps in different connections. The average schoolboy or girl thinks of Pythagoras as a busybody who proved a theorem in geometry, which he or she, unhappy person, has to learn now. This theorem deals with the squares on the sides of a right-angled triangle and is to be found in Euclid or any other geometry. But, apart from his discoveries in geometry, Pythagoras is supposed to have been a great thinker. We do not know much about him, and indeed, some people doubt if he ever existed. Zoroaster of Persia is said to have been the founder of Zoroastrianism, but I am not sure if it is quite correct to call him the founder. It is better perhaps to say that he gave a new direction and a new form to the old thought and religion of Persia. For a long time past, this religion has hardly existed in Persia. The Parsis, who long ago came to India from Persia, brought it with them, and they have practiced it ever since. In China, there were two great men, Confucius and Lao-Tzu, during this period. A more correct way of writing Confucius is Confucius. Neither of these men was a founder of a religion in the ordinary sense of the word. They laid down systems of morals and social behavior, what one should do and what one should not do. But after their deaths, numerous temples were built to their memory in China, and their books were as much respected by the Chinese as the Vedas by the Hindus or the Bible by the Christians. And one of the results of the Confucian teaching has been to make the Chinese people among the most courteous and perfect-mannered and cultured in the world. In India, there were Mahavira and the Buddha. Mahavira started the Jain religion as it exists today. His real name was Vardhamana, Mahavira being the title of greatness given to him. Jains live largely in Western India and in Kathiawar, and today They are often included among the Hindus. They have beautiful temples in Kathiawar and in Mount Abu in Rajputana. They are very great believers in ahimsa, or non-violence, and are wholly against doing anything which might cause injury to any living being. In this connection, it might interest you to know that Pythagoras was a strict vegetarian and insisted on all his pupils and children being vegetarians. We come now to Gautama, the Buddha. He was, as you no doubt know, a Kshatriya, a prince of a royal house, and Siddhartha was his name. His mother was Queen Maya, joyously reverenced by all, even as the young moon, strong and calm of purpose as the earth, pure of heart as the lotus, was Maya, the great lady, says the old chronicle. His parents brought him up in comfort and luxury, and tried to keep him away from all sight of suffering or misery. But this was not possible, and tradition says that he did see poverty and suffering and death, and that he was greatly affected by them. There was no peace for him then in his palace, and all the luxury with which he was surrounded, and even his beautiful young wife, whom he loved, could not keep his mind away from suffering humanity. And the thought grew in him, and the desire to find a remedy for these evils, till he could bear it no longer. And, in the silence of the night, he left his palace and his dear ones, and marched out alone into the wide world to find answers to the questions which troubled him. Long and weary was his search for these answers. At last, many years later, it is said that, sitting under a peepal tree in Gaya, enlightenment came to him, and he became the Buddha, the enlightened. And the tree under which he had sat came to be known as the Bodhi tree, the tree of enlightenment. In the deer park at Sarnath, called Isipatana then, under the shadow of ancient Kashi, Buddha began his teaching. He pointed out the path of good living. He condemned the sacrifice of all manner of things to the gods, and said we must sacrifice instead our anger and hatred and envy and wrong thinking. When Buddha was born, the old Vedic religion prevailed in India. But already it had changed and fallen from its high estate. The Brahman write that people should think for themselves and decide for themselves. But they must have the ability to decide. You would not ask a newborn babe to decide anything. And there are many people who, though grown in years, are almost like newborn babes so far as their minds are concerned. I have written a longer letter than usual today, and you may find it dull. But I wanted to have my little say on this subject. If you do not understand anything now, it does not matter. You will understand soon enough. Dear friends and students, you were listening to the book Glimpses of World History by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe the channel. Let's meet in the next episode.